in color, the continuing story of Peyton Place. Starring Dorothy Malone as Constance Mackenzie, Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi, Ryan O'Neill as Rodney Harrington, Barbara Parkins as Betty Anderson, Tim O'Connor as Elliot Carson, Christopher Connolly as Norman Harrington, Patricia Morrow as Rita Harrington, James Douglas as Stephen Cord.
Martin Peyton has brought a young woman into his house, Adrienne Van Leyden, the widow of his former doctor. She is here for a purpose, to entice Peyton's grandson, Stephen Cord, thereby breaking up Stephen's marriage, thereby helping to carry out the extraordinary conditions of Peyton's last will and testament. Tonight, Peyton, the puppet master, pulled the strings, and Adrienne made her first move.
Smell. Couldn't resist picking it.
It's lovely.
I'm sorry I'm so late. I hope I haven't delayed dinner.
No, Stephen isn't home yet.
Oh, I'm afraid that's my fault. I needed some help with a silly legal problem, so I stopped by his office.
Will he be much longer?
No, I don't think so. I think he's right behind me. He was clearing up his desk when I left. Well, I'll just freshen up. Be down in a minute.
Don't rush. There's plenty of time.
Anybody home?
Anyone in particular?
Wow.
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 Stephen.
It's your own fault for being so beautiful. Come on. Grab your purse, let's go.
What's gotten into you?
Let's get in the car, escape, drive up the coast, have dinner and dance, and live it up.
Now?
Why not?
Well, you're certainly in enough mood. Did you have a good day?
Fascinating.
Well, tell me about it.
All right, fair enough. Now, what should I start with? Oh, okay. I went to court in the morning, and I got a postponement on that Lau merger. And then I had lunch with Otto Crutcher, and he told me some real swell jokes. The same swell jokes he tells me every time I have lunch with him.
Why do you have lunch with him?
He's a judge.
Oh.
Now, where was I? Oh, yeah. The nose. Then after lunch, I went back to the office, and I stayed there the rest of the afternoon. Another day in the life of Stephen Cord, attorney at law.
No, Stephen, wait a minute.
Now what?
Well, Mr. Peyton expects us to have dinner with Adrienne and him.
Oh, who cares? Let him have the pleasure of her company all to himself. He'll love it.
Well, at least let me tell them.
You get your things, I'll tell Mary.
Come in. Ah, Adrienne.
I saw Stephen. I thought you'd want to know.
The door, please, Adrienne. Well, how did it go?
Very well indeed. You were right. He's not going to be difficult.
You're not surprised, are you? He was deeply attracted to you. He was just fighting it. It's as simple as that.
That may be simple for you, Martin. But I didn't know whether he'd let me see him at all.
Of course, you don't know him very well.
But I'm beginning to.
Oh?
You know, underneath that reserve, there's a man with tremendous drive, tremendous feelings and needs. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I found out he was human like the rest of us.
Well, not quite like the rest of us, Adrienne. If Stephen has a drive, it's an overpowering drive. His needs can never be satisfied. As for his feelings, well, I'm afraid his unfortunate background left an indelible mark.
Come now, Martin. It can't be as bad as that. He did grow up in your house in Boston.
But he grew up hungering after everything he didn't have. Money, power, position. He still wants what he didn't have. Whatever is beyond his reach. And whoever is beyond his reach. Well, thank you, Adrienne.
Hi. Hi. Look at you. I think you've decided to beat me up.
Well, how do you like that?
What?
My own daughter, and I can't even bring any food into the hospital.
That's doctor's orders.
Well, what's food got to do with your condition?
Mom, I don't know.
Well, I'm sorry, honey. I guess I was looking for a fight about anything. And when they told me I had to leave the hamper at the desk, I just blew up.
What's the matter?
Well, I can't shout it myself, can I? So I had to find somebody, even if it was that poor nurse out there.
Oh, Mom. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Well, I may not have been much of a mother, but I'm going to be one bang-up grandmother.
That's his first real present.
His?
Norm put in a request for a basketball team before we were married, and he didn't mean a girls' basketball team either.
Is he happy?
Of course he is.
Rita?
Oh, and I want to borrow your sewing machine when I get out of here. I'm going to start making some baby clothes, okay?
Okay.
And I start fooling around with some yarn, too.
Is everything all right?
Oh, sure.
Well, what's Dr. Rossi say?
Mom, I'm really feeling tired.
But you have talked to him.
Some.
Won't you tell me, please?
He just says I have to be careful.
But everything is all right, isn't it?
Of course.
Well, what does that mean, of course?
It means if I'm careful, everything's going to be okay. Mom, I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
If only I'd been a better...
What's that have to do with anything?
When you had rheumatic fever that time, I didn't even take you for a checkup. I knew you were sick, but you'd been sick before. If I'd known you had rheumatic fever,
Mother, please, what's the point of going over all this again?
Yeah, I guess I better leave before you kick me out, huh?
Thanks for coming. And for the christening outfit. Mom?
Yes?
Would you do me a favor?
Name it.
Will you come and see me again tomorrow? Norm can't come over during the day.
I'll be here. And now, you take a nap for yourself, huh?
Thanks.
Thanks for dinner, Dan.
Anytime, Norman.
I might take you up on that.
My pleasure.
So long.
Norman.
Look, Dad, we made it through a 4-course dinner discussing the vital issues facing the nation, such as when is it going to rain, who's going to win the pennant. Now, are you going to wreck a stimulating evening?
Yes.
Okay. What's on your mind?
I was wondering.
I'll make it easy for you, Dad. No, I haven't told
Keep it down.
I haven't told anybody I saw you skulking around you-know-whose cell right before you-know-who escaped.
That's not terribly amusing, Norman.
Well, it's not very amusing to be cross-examined every 5 minutes either. Look, Dad, we made a deal. I keep my mouth shut. You give me the job. Thanks for dinner.
Mr. Harrington. A phone, sir. It's Mr. Martin Peyton.
Thank you, Robert. I'll take it in my room.
He'll be here in just a moment, please.
What I got for us, huh? I mean, why should Rita get all that good hospital food and we get stuck with leftovers? New, fresh, canned food. Well, we'll cook up a store.
I'm not hungry.
You've got to eat, Norman.
Why?
Well, aren't you all dressed up and in a nice mood tonight?
Look, I'm just not hungry. It's all the same to you.
Come on, let's go get some hamburgers.
I've already eaten.
Well, that's all you had to tell me.
Well, I'm telling you.
Where'd you eat?
What's the difference?
Listen, I'm all churned up about Rita, too. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
I ate at the inn.
That can be a lonely place.
With Dad?
It's kind of a switch.
Oh, here it comes. Norm boy, he's gonna smother your soul. But he's gonna pay for it with a couple of bucks every week.
That's right, man.